This is a prison cell. Only kids are being held down here. And I can tell you exactly how. Come in. I remember this whole thing they built over to conceal this. And there's a plastic tube chamber in here where the kids are going in and out. We'll shine my light. You see a piece of wood, and it looks like that the wood gets slid down there, and the kids are crawling up. If you look down in there when they let them out.
Yeah.
But there's different toys down there, little food bags. You can actually stick it in pretty. And then that board's used to slide them up. Yeah. The only way, because they're not going to reach down in there and grab them, so I guess they're having them slide up. But this is all the way down there. A child's not going to be able to get out of here, small child. And you're not going to hear them scream. Yeah. They're enclosed. You're not going to see them from the sky. Our drone didn't pick this up. It just picked up a...
Welcome to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. The video that you were just watching was a chamber discovered in Tucson, Arizona. This is from Craig Sawyer's Twitter account. Craig Sawyer is the founder of Veterans for Child Rescue. And the tweet says, underground chamber discovered, Contraland being filmed to alert Americans to child trafficking inside the USA. This was a call out we got last night. Check it out. Thanks to AZBR and VOP for the heads up. So pretty disturbing footage. And Tucson being a pretty close proximity to Mexico by way of Nogales, I believe. And so who knows how many more staging areas are out like that. But Craig Sawyer, if you do not know him, he's out there doing some really good work. And I want to take you to his site again. This is vetsforchildrescue.org. Again, vetsforchildrescue.org. And let me just take you to their little mission statement here. Veterans for Child Rescue is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to assist law enforcement and NGOs to eliminate domestic minor sex trafficking. Our strategy involves educating the public, raising awareness through the Contraland film, training law enforcement, and empowering our children. And Craig Sawyer is a former Navy SEAL. And if you'd like to get involved, you can just hover over here on Join the Fight, and there will be a volunteer application here for you. And it looks like they're looking for all kinds of people with all sorts of interests, availability, and skills. So if this seems like something that might be up your alley, there you have a thank you to Craig Sawyer for all you do, helping us fight human trafficking, especially no child should be stuck in a place like that. What a terrible, absolutely terrible place to be. And unfortunately today we are talking about some of these scumbags, folks. And here's another scumbag off of Dread Central. Hollywood Science Fiction Museum founder arrested on child pornography charges. Oh boy. All right, let me take you down to the second paragraph here. It's come to our attention that recently Hollywood Science Fiction Museum founder Floyd Houston Huddleston III was arrested by Los Angeles police on 3 charges, including Penal Code 288.3, contacting a minor with intent to commit a felony, Penal Code 311.4, a crime to hire, employ, use, persuade, or coerce a minor to participate in the production of child porn, and Penal Code 311.11a, possession of obscene matter depicting a minor engaging in sexual conduct. Jeez. Huddleston, who pleaded not guilty to all charges, is being held on a $750,000 bail with a court date of June 12th. All information was found via the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department website. What's troubling is that we're seeing reports of people claiming that Houston, through various means, is selling donated props from the museum on various auction websites in order to raise money for his bail. Makeup artist Gigi Bannister, who worked on Phantasm 4, Oblivion, and Phantasm Ravager, wrote in a Facebook comment, I'm fielding inquiries on this end too from horror and Phantasm fans, asking about an exclusive set of Phantasm 2 sphere props that we think Don Coscarelli had to have donated and then Houston sold. This is history we can never recover. A Facebook post by self-proclaimed ex-Hollywood Science Fiction Museum volunteer Loretta Lightning Bolt, oh that's a bitchin' name, states that she and several other volunteers discovered through our own research that museum founder Floyd Houston Huddleston was not on a long vacation as we had been told back in April. We were sickened to discover he had been charged with 3 counts of sexual crimes against a minor, something none of us want any association with. She then continued by stating that she and 7 other volunteers have resigned from our respective positions. On top of the volunteers leaving en masse, other members of the museum are removing themselves from any affiliation, including Mick Garris from The Shining and The Stand. The Hollywood Science Fiction Museum's only comment on this situation was a tweet that posted the arrest record. Since then, the museum's website has erased nearly every instance of Huddleston's name and likeness. Furthermore, the Hollywood Horror Museum, which was created by the Hollywood Science Fiction Museum founders, has removed its board of directors page on its website. Whoa! So, this guy right here, Huddleston. Huddleston, you got busted with kids. Look at me. Close your mouth when you look at me. Busted. And then you took a bunch of movie props and sold them so that you could pay for your court fees. You, sir, have failed at life. Close your mouth when you look at me, Mr. Huddleston. From Hollywood horror creeps to Nickelodeon creeps. This is off of RevengeOfTheSith.com. Dan Schneider scandal. Actresses reportedly meeting with lawyers. Nickelodeon is under fire from all sides with allegations spanning decades and throughout the company. As more people become aware of the Schneider allegations, there are now disturbing reports that the creator of Ren and Stimpy, John Kricfalusi, may have been grooming and preying on underage fans dating back to his time at the network. As the stories begin to pour out, activists have taken to Twitter in an attempt to get hashtag boycott Nickelodeon trending. Hundreds of users have been tweeting using the hashtag in the past few hours. According to Gabe Hoffman, producer of An Open Secret, 2 alleged victims of Dan Schneider are set to come forward with direct allegations against Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon in the coming weeks. You can hear the direct quote from Mr. Hoffman in this time-stamped video, and I'll leave this link here for you so you can watch this video. And then this is Lisa Lillian, Schneider's wife, her Twitter handle. In addition to this new bombshell revelation, Schneider's wife, Lisa Hungry Girl Lillian, has reportedly started blocking critics of her husband on Twitter, including Mersch of ROTC Media. Dan Schneider has been fired from Nickelodeon after years of rumors and allegations of abuse. Dan Schneider has finally been let go by Nickelodeon after multiple complaints of abusive behavior against Schneider filed by members of his staff, according to Deadline. We at ROTC Media have been covering Schneider extensively since October, dedicating large portions of our daily talk show to exposing Schneider as well as the unhealthy inner workings of Nickelodeon in general. We are happy to finally see the fruits of months of work by activists across the country. It's finally over. For 20 years, Dan Schneider was Nickelodeon's golden goose, their top showrunner and creator. Schneider launched the careers of Amanda Bynes, Ariana Grande, Jamie Lynn Spears, and many others. Despite his involvement in their early careers with these young women, seemed to remain curiously silent on Mr. Schneider. When accepting his 2014 Lifetime Achievement Award from Nickelodeon, the stage was devoid of any of his former female stars, save for Victoria Justice, who was still under contract at the time. In one segment from October, it was alleged by an anonymous source that Dan Schneider was known for hosting pool parties at his home. The guest list for these parties frequently featured his young stars who would attend without their parents, according to the source. In addition, a former actress alleged having quit the business after a creepy barefoot audition for a Schneider-helmed television show that was being developed for the cable giant. Stories and rumors regarding Dan Schneider and his lack of boundaries with his young stars, particularly Amanda Bynes and Jamie Lynn Spears. His foot fetish was also well documented, with tons of feet references in his show and sexualizing of teens. He was also caught at one point using the official Sam and Cat Twitter account to solicit foot pictures from child fans. And then this video right here is it's talking about, there's a girl and she's talking about the audition process that I guess she went through herself. It's rather creepy. Fairly short video if you want to see that. During the course of our around-the-clock investigations of Schneider, ROTC Media was approached by multiple reporters from outfits such as People, AOL Entertainment, The Hollywood Reporter, and Bustle. Each scenario played out identically. Initially, the reporter would reach out to ROTC Media and ask what about the information we'd uncovered. In every instance, we'd agreed to allow these media outlets to contact our anonymous source. However, every single time we would hand over our information and contacts, no follow-up would be done, and our source would never be contacted. People did, however, find the time to write a fluff piece about Schneider's dog. The dog's name? Loli. All right, so there's a little bit more here in this article showing some of the tweets and stuff like that, but I highly suggest taking a look at this. And the reason I think Dan Schneider is important because he was a real cash cow for Nickelodeon, and they had a real clever gig going on, all these kids shows, and they were just kind of grooming these kids, and so many kids came out of this, not just Nickelodeon but Disney, and we're kind of starting to see the dark past with all that, and Dan Schneider was a big part of that. And I have a feeling that this will not be the end of it. I have a feeling there's going to be a couple big names that are going to come down, not just with Nickelodeon, but with some of these child actresses. I think some of them are going to start talking, and we're going to start seeing even bigger names in the news. Let's move on to the next creep. Well, what's more creepy than a Hollywood creep? A whole cult of Hollywood creeps. This is from RadarOnline.com. Allison Mack admits to developing Nexium branding practice that burned women's flesh. Months before she was arrested on sex trafficking charges for her alleged involvement in the Nexium sex cult, Allison Mack admitted she was the one who developed the group's horrific branding practice. In a rare and shocking interview with the New York Times Magazine, Mack painted the branding procedure, where women's bodies are cauterized with hot irons, as a positive experience. She told me, "I was like, y'all, a tattoo? People get drunk and tattooed on their ankle, BFF, or a tramp stamp. I have 2 tattoos and they mean nothing," journalist Vanessa Grigoriadis recalled. The former Smallville actress added that the branding practice was more meaningful and something that took guts, the report explained. As Radar readers know, the terrifying branding process requires women within Nexium to strip down, lay on a medical table, and have a hot cauterizing iron seared into their skin for 45 minutes. God dog, former member Sarah Edmondson revealed. On A&E's Cult and Extreme Belief special that aired May 28th and 29th, Edmondson recalled weeping and crying during the torture. She also claimed the women were not told about the painful procedure beforehand. The bumpy red symbol that appeared above the cult member's genital region is believed to be the leader Keith Rainier's initials. "I have Keith initials on my crotch," said Edmondson. Mack, who is currently under house arrest at her parents' California home, also told the journalist that she took on women as slaves within Nexium so she could get over jealousy, the report stated. "She told me she knew she needed to get right with her long-standing jealousy issues with younger, more attractive women," the journalist wrote. Rainier and Mack are scheduled to appear in court on June 13th. June 13th, interesting time. So, oh man, this Allison Mack, right? Clearly a charming woman, and she's got some some life issues, and kids. Now I think most of my readers already, or my subscribers already know this, but to you young kids, listen, when you really like somebody, send them. You can make them a charm bracelet, or make them get the little necklace, with the 2 hearts, and you put them together. And okay, do something like that. Watch the whole initials on the crotch thing. All right. I'm just saying, from a guy who's been around for a bit, watch the whole initials on the crotch thing. You're probably going to regret that later. And hey, to the older ladies, when if you're dealing with issues with younger, more attractive women, just make them your slaves, and that'll make you feel better, because nothing is more empowering than enslaving others. We're learning a lot from this Nexium crew, aren't we? Okay, so this is really thoroughly a crew of creeps, and this Allison Mack obviously has plenty of issues, but it seems to me what I'm getting out of this story with her admitting to this, not very well, maybe this was her idea. She was very high up in this group, and maybe she was feeling a little bit of power, and maybe that really was true. Maybe the branding was something that was making her feel powerful or whatnot, but I still can't help but feel that this girl is covering up for someone, not just Rainier, but I feel like there's something else going on here. Now, this Nexium thing, I think, still has yet to blow wide open. We know Allison Mack has likely talked. We're not sure, as to what extent, but we know that this extends through Hollywood, and we're seeing it. We're kind of seeing it sporadically. They're not necessarily making the connections in the mainstream media, but I can't help but think that that's the case. And if you remember, Q told us to focus on California and New York. And of course, Allison Mack likely led to the Weinstein arrest. Now, that was already kind of out already, but I think as far as the rest, and then of course, Eric Schneiderman stepping down, that's all New York. And although Weinstein was arrested in New York, he's still being investigated in Los Angeles. So we will see what's going on there. And there's a lot of different statutes in California that, make it very difficult for some of these actors to kind of, be able to come out and talk without, being in fear of a lot of legal repercussion. So I think this will probably be a long battle, clearly, as so many people have so much to lose. And we will see how it all plays out. But definitely some creepy stuff. And finally, finishing off on our creepy theme today, we have some good old-fashioned creepy noises. From Fox News, mysterious explosions plague Pennsylvania town, straining emergency services, police say. A mysterious set of explosions in the suburbs of Philadelphia over the past 2 months has strained emergency responses to other calls and left authorities in Pennsylvania asking for help to track down whoever is behind the blast. Since April 2nd, there have been over 20 early morning explosions in northern Bucks County, located about 45 miles northwest of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, state police said in news released Tuesday. Fortunately, to date, no one has been injured. However, we are attempting to prevent someone from accidentally getting injured by these explosions, including the individual responsible, state police said in a news release obtained by Fox News. These events disrupt emergency response personnel from their normal course of duty, straining local resources and impeding emergency personnel from responding to other calls for service. Authorities did not release information about a potential suspect, but asked the community to remain vigilant. Regardless of how insignificant you think your tip may be, we strongly encourage you to come forward with your information, state police said. Residents across the area have reported booms loud enough to rattle windows and shake walls taking place between 1 and 4:30 a.m. and waking them up. It's just like a boom. That's just how it sounds, Donna Weaver told Fox 29 at the end of April. Weaver, a resident of Quakertown, said she heard the booms several times over the course of the month, which woke her up in the middle of the night. I don't know, and it's kind of scary, she told Fox 29, because I thought of thinking maybe it's underground, maybe underground somewhere. The Richland Township Police Department said in a Facebook post last month that they had not given anyone permission to blast in the area. If anyone sees anything suspicious in that area, please reach out to police or the township. If you are close, try to pinpoint the direction it is coming from, police said. A spokeswoman from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms told PennLive.com that the explosives are possibly from tannerite, which is a mix of ammonium nitrate and aluminum powder and legal to buy. Firearms enthusiasts typically use tannerite for target practice. From what I understand, they're pretty big explosions, ATF spokeswoman Charlene Hennessy told Penn Live. Some people have reported their house is shaking. Pennsylvania State Police are asking. I don't know if any of our listeners here are near Quakertown or have heard these booms. I would love to know what you guys think about this. Personally, myself, where I live, I heard series of booms about 3 months ago, and I kept thinking it was the same thing. And the first time I heard them was actually during a lightning storm. And so I was able to kind of compare it and contrast it with the lightning, with the thunder, and it was clearly not the same thing. And it felt like it was underground, and it would literally shake the windows. So let me know what you think those booms might be, or if you know anything about those booms. But those are your creepy stories for the week. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. And when you get all unclicked and unliked and unsubscribed, do me a favor and just do it again, please. Now, I have a feeling Q will probably be posting very, very soon. It's just a gut feeling, don't know. But we do have that IG report coming in very soon, so I will keep you updated on that as soon as we find some things out. Until next time, this is Sir Patrick Mack with In Pursuit of Truth. Stay loyal. Stay friendly. Stay away from cults that want to put their initials onto your crotch.